I want to welcome you back into the Tell Me Short series here. And I want to talk to you today about prayer. And I want to ask you to draw your attention to the book of John, chapter 14, verses 16 to 18. John, chapter 14, verses 16 to 18. He says, I will ask the Father, and he will give you another helper, that he may be with you forever. And that is the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it does not see him or know him. But you know him, because he abides with you, and he will be with you. I will not leave you as orphans, as I will come to you. I think that one of the greatest hindrances to our prayer life is a lack of perseverance. We quit praying too soon, and it's easy to feel since we've already asked, the answer to our prayers should immediately be forthcoming, or our needs should be quickly met. However, God is not a bellhop, and we need to understand that as well. Okay? Just waiting to give us exactly what we want at the moment that we want it. We often have to exercise patience and continue in prayer. Now, if you have to understand something, that all Christians are given the Holy Spirit to seal their relationship with God, and it is He who counsels believers on how to pray. Let me draw your attention to the book of Romans. Romans chapter 8, verse 26 says, in the same way, the Spirit also helps our weakness, for we do not know how to pray as we should. But the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with the groanings too deep for words. We sometimes believe that we need to come to God only when we have a need. That's pretty much the attitude of most believers. However, prayer is about intimacy with the Father. And if the Lord gave us whatever we wanted as soon as we asked Him, we would not be able to understand the dynamic of our relationship with Him, and might never learn the important skills of patience and dependence. Okay? So I want you to think about the Apostle Paul for a moment with me, who tells us that he implored 3 times, for his thorn in the flesh. You remember that? To be removed from God, that God gave him for an answer. And you know what the answer was from God? The answer was no. Let me draw your attention. In 2 Corinthians chapter 12, it says this in verse 7 8. Listen to the words of the Apostle Paul when he says, because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, for this reason, he says, to keep me from exalting myself, there was given me a thorn in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to torment me, to keep me from exalting myself. Concerning this, I implored the Lord 3 times that it might leave me. Now, this is probably refers to, there's a number of different interpretations, but this probably refers to three protracted periods of time that Paul had begged for relief from God. And when we have been praying for a long, long time about something and don't feel as if our words are going anywhere, that is not the time to quit. We have to pray through those situations. God, I want you to know something. God is listening attentively to our cries, and His Spirit is our constant comparison. Even when we cannot feel His presence or His involvement in our lives, instead of ceasing to pray, will you call on the Holy Spirit to aid you in persevering? That's one of the issues that we're going to have to address in our lives as believers. Pray without ceasing.